What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are looking at Litecoin today. This one comes at you from the request of Love Morum Yakum Bang. I think that's how you pronounce their name. Love Morum Yakum Bang. This one's for you. And anybody else who's watching it. I do requests. I will, probably inevitably I would have made a video about Litecoin, but maybe you have been following this channel, you've watched a couple videos, and you're like, it's been 2 days, it's been 2 hours, I don't know, since Litecoin's had a video. I want an update. Let me know. I will. I'm more than willing, more than happy to give an update. And I do remember I said versus the dollar, I was expecting an increase, but versus Bitcoin, I was expecting some kind of downside. Let's actually start and look, because it looks like first Bitcoin we probably actually had a nice little increase here. We did. We got a pop. I forget when my last video was. I did say that I think we'd take this low out, which we did, to be fair. But we had an immediate rejection turnaround, right? We broke below and we just did not proceed to go lower. So, I forget where I made my video. I definitely said that it wanted to go lower, and it did go lower, but it didn't go as much lower as I was expecting. And we actually got a pretty bullish reversal here. And that all just happened in the last couple days. So that's actually very impressive. Good job, Litecoin. You're getting higher highs now. Even though this is a lower low, I would consider this a bullish formation overall. One of which you're showing strength at toward the top areas of this range. You might be breaking out of this. You might be Litecoin might be getting ready to do some Bitcoin Cash stuff. And what I mean by that is like some serious price growth. And we can see that also in the regular chart, the US dollar chart here. We had a 28% day yesterday. That's magnificent, man. Litecoin could, while the rest of crypto kind of goes down right now, Litecoin could just keep going up. It's completely possible. It's out of character. It is kind of out of character for these OG coins, for one of them to go up while everything else is going down. Though it's happened before and it can happen again. You know what I mean? Litecoin, I think, led the pack on the last rally. Though again, actually, I want to go on a little tangent here before we really get into the TA. Let's make sure I'm touting truth here. So let's see. Litecoin started pumping. Everyone was saying that Litecoin was what started the last bull market. It started pumping in 2018 December, and it ended in June of 2019. But BCH, if I remember correctly, I think it actually ended. It started before and ended. Let's see. So it bottomed on the week of the 10th, and I guess it did top on the 17th. So maybe they are pretty similar, actually. Let's see. This one bottomed the week of the 3rd or the 10th, however you want to look. I guess the technical low was on the week of the 10th, the same as Bitcoin Cash. This is technical analysis. I'm not cherry picking. I'm being technical here. I would do the same thing even if it didn't agree with me. So it literally bottomed the same week. And then June 17th, yeah. So never mind. Bitcoin, but again, from bottom to top here, this grew 558%. Bitcoin Cash grew, I'm pretty sure it grew a lot more than that. 600. Okay, so not too much more. 607% versus 558. But nobody paid attention to Bitcoin Cash, man. And watch right now. This is where I'm going with this. Watch everybody focus on Litecoin, but nobody's going to give Bitcoin Cash the credit it deserves for having an even more miraculous move than most cryptos right now, honestly. And this is a very miraculous move. Finding resistance at areas that are to be expected. But this is not a video about Bitcoin Cash. This is a video about Litecoin, and we're going to hop into it as soon as I grab some water. So I'm going to do that. Got some water here. All right. All right, so looking at Litecoin, at least from a US dollar perspective, it's very obvious, at least I think it's very obvious, that we are breaking out of a range, right? We kind of set up this little range here that we were in, and we literally just engulfed all of it in the last 24 to 48 hours, actually. We engulfed it straight up. Let's see what we got on the indicators. above the 50, holding above the 50. When you go down below the 50, it's like, psych, just kidding, haha. I think I actually said that exact thing last time in my video. Now that I'm saying that right now, I'm pretty sure I remember saying that. I was like, it's probably going to do a haha, just kidding, and come right back up. I think I actually literally said those exact words. But, it's about time that I'm right on something, right, guys? If you've been watching the channel, you know that my calls with Bitcoin Cash haven't been right. I even, flip-flopped a little bit with Bitcoin too. At least I got one of them. Litecoin, one that I'm not even invested in. I don't plan on investing, though I do think it's a good investment. I definitely do. There are plenty of good investments that I am not going to take part of. I like to keep my portfolio simple. Some people like to be more spread out. There's no right or wrong way to do it, man. Just don't lose money. Like, that's, I guess that's the only wrong way to do it. Just don't lose money. Because I don't know. I've just a quick little philosophy on all this. There's a lot of people who will say don't put all your eggs in one basket, and I agree. I don't think anybody should. If you're gonna take $100 grand, $10 grand, $1 million, however much money, maybe less than if you have $1,000, whatever, or $100 even. Don't take your full amount and put it in one thing and call that investing. At that point you're gambling, and it can be a form of investing, but you're putting all your eggs in one basket. And that's just not necessarily the smart thing to do. What you need to do is diversify. But I know people, man, who will be spread out across 50 different assets. I can't do that. I'm more of like a 5 or less, 3 or less even, at least with crypto, I guess I have I have a bunch of different accounts, a bunch of different exchanges I use, so I kind of base my holds off of those exchanges, if that makes sense. Like on Coinbase is my Bitcoin, right? Or my Bitcoin Cash. On Robinhood, I buy Doge or stocks. On Kraken, I buy miscellaneous shit coins or Qcoin, stuff. I don't know, like stuff like that. But again, what am I trying to say here, man? What am I trying? I like to keep it more simple. I don't like to be super spread out and diversified. And I think, here's why it's not a dumb thing. If you're spread out between 50 assets, as most people in like the conventional stock world, they like to be spread out across a lot of assets. Maybe it's not 50, maybe it's 20, maybe it's over 12. That to me is just too much. And that can seem silly to you, that can seem not silly to you, maybe you understand what I'm saying. I don't think it's good to have all your eggs in one basket, but maybe in a handful of baskets, right? And I think that it's not dumb. It might be more risky to a certain degree. But again, I think the smart moves are always going to be more risky. The safe moves are not always going to be more risky, but the smart moves will. And I know a lot of people are going to hear that and be like, well, safe and smart, they're the same thing. Let me explain why I think that that's wrong. I think being safe can be smart. I think being safe and smart can be the same, but I think smart isn't always safe. Let me give you an example here, right? So if you were to invest in Bitcoin, if you were to take all of your money and put it all in Bitcoin, that's probably the safest move on the face of the planet. Give it 10 years. I don't care what asset you're going up against, whether they gain more or less in that amount of time. Bitcoin is, I don't think anybody in crypto would argue that Bitcoin is the safest move. It's the safest move out of any crypto. Maybe Bitcoin Cash if you're a BCH head over BTC, but some form of like a very solid crypto that is going to be here for years to come. That's a safe move. But is it going to be the move that generates the most growth? Is there not going to be coins that do 1,000x's, more than that even? Your Shiba Inus, your Doge coins, and maybe not those coins exactly, but coins that have those kind of rallies in this coming cycle. Would those not be the smartest investments to make? They might not be the safest investments, right? The safest investment last cycle was definitely Bitcoin, but the smartest investment would have been Shiba Inu or Dogecoin, and you would have made the most money. But again, that wouldn't have been the safest investment. So that's what I'm trying to get at here, is like I'm okay with trying to make a smarter move, a more clever move, if that even fits. I don't know. Versus the safe move, but I want to be safe too, and that's why I am spread out. I do have like a handful that I'm looking at to diversify in, but I'm not. I know some people, man, they go they literally have to keep a list with them. I want to be able to recite it from memory what my portfolio is diversified in. And anyways, man, all that to say, all of that to say, Litecoin looks good. Litecoin looks really good. I like Litecoin. It looks good. From top to bottom here, you are breaking straight through the 618. You actually you even came back and found support on the 0.5. You are moving up here. This thing doesn't want to stop here. It probably goes to the 120, to the 142, maybe even up to 161. And it's probably going to happen fast. I wouldn't be surprised if while everything else kind of checks back, Litecoin just steals the spotlight. It wouldn't, with this kind of volume coming in, man, and this kind of move, like, for this to turn around here, it would be unconventional, but, you know, Bitcoin's doing some unconventional things with its fibs right now, so maybe Litecoin could come back. Litecoin, you know, it could come back. It could do a massive little pullback all the way. It's at 106 now. It could do a massive pullback back down to like $80, $87, $90 from here, and then go up. But it doesn't have to. In fact, I would just give it the green light. What you've got clear as day, is a breakout. This is a breakout move. You broke out of this price range with great volume on a beautiful candle. I don't think it stops here. You just broke out. I don't think it stops here. You are in the overbought zone. You just got into the overbought zone. Let's go back and just see any time that Litecoin's done that. Let's actually measure from like a closing period. So from here, you know, you closed when you got into the overbought zone. You went up 3% higher. That wasn't that much. That's not that impressive. Here you were in the overbought zone as soon as you got into it, right? And then you went up immediately 7% higher. Okay, and then inevitably even more than that. Here you just got into the overbought zone, right here, and before having any kind of, and I'm going off a closing basis here. Not this day. It could have been this day. I think it was this day though. But the more immediate like up high that we had before we had any kind of pullback was a 15% more move to the upside. Here again, you got overbought on this day here, and on a closing basis, if you measured from there to the top, that's a 18% move. So these are just getting bigger as we go back. Again here, overbought on this day from a closing basis. If you went to the immediate top, that's a 20. They are getting bigger. They're just getting bigger. And then, you know, we didn't really have anything like that except for since back here. I'll stop measuring after this one, but just showing again, once you get into the overbought zone, it's not time to sell. 31, they just keep getting bigger. What the heck, man? Let's just see here. This one here, it did get overbought. It did go up. It went up 3%, but then it came back down, and then inevitably went up higher. We could be getting something like that, but again, look at this move compared to a move like this, or compared to a move like this. You know, we got the 3% move here on this little guy. We had the 3% move on that little guy back there. But off of these bigger moves, you get bigger increases, and I would expect to see anything, you know, maybe from 7% to 30%. Maybe, you know, that's completely possible. Again, if we were to go, I'm going to delete all these now. Oops, on the weekly time frame here, from, come on now, from high to low, I mean, a move to 120 really is not out of the question, especially with what we just seen, right? That's a 13%, 12.5% move. That's totally possible. A move to the 618 might not be as likely, though I would still say that that's completely in play. And maybe that takes us, you know, coming up here for an immediate top. We get our 13% pump, and then we pull back a little bit, and then we make a move up. You know, maybe that's how it plays. I do think that prices up here at 140 and higher are inevitable for Litecoin, and I think we're seeing the beginnings of that right now. But I wouldn't think on a daily perspective that it stops here. It is the weekend, and, you know, if Litecoin increased like over 10% over the weekend, that really wouldn't surprise me. If it just chilled and moved sideways, that also wouldn't surprise me. You know, we could have a couple lagging days where this still doesn't look like a top, right? This whole move still does move up like 13 to 20% or something like that. But again, all that to say, I do think that Litecoin moves up from here. I like, man, this RSI looks strong on the 4 hour. You're literally holding in the overbought zone. You do have bearish divergence presenting itself technically at the moment. That can get taken out. It's not too concerning, and if it is, you come down to 96 or $90, something like that, and then you go up higher. That's my genuine impression of Litecoin right now. I wouldn't buy. I mean, you could buy. It's not necessarily a bad time to buy. It would have been better to buy before yesterday, clearly, right? But you are buying after a fresh breakout, right? And I mean, if we drew a line right to this daily high close here, we tipped it here, and we actually just today we got 16 hours left in the day, so in the last 8 hours, we came down and tipped it, man. It looks like we tipped this line, and we're bouncing off of it. So this could be a very bullish setup, actually. I'm not personally buying here, but I know it might not seem like a good idea to buy after a 28% pump, but this wouldn't be a bad, if you're a breakout trader, man, this is perfect buying conditions. This is literally perfect. This reminds me a lot. I keep going back to Bitcoin Cash, but this reminds me a lot of when Bitcoin Cash broke out, and right here you had its breakout on the first day, and you're at about 136 or 140. And while, yes, it would have been a better time to buy here, this was the breakout, man. If you bought at the beginning of this move, you would have caught all this. And I didn't play it like that. If you watch the channel, you know I didn't play it like that. But that doesn't mean that you have to do the same mistakes or play the same mistakes here. And that doesn't mean that it's going to make the same spectacular move. I don't think that Litecoin's going to make a move all the way up to $200-something from here. It could. It very well could. This does look more spectacular, but we'll see. At the moment, the current expectation would be around like a 12 to 15% move to the upside, around this 120, maybe 130 at the 1414, somewhere on the lower ends or the upper ends of this pink line. That's and that's a common area to find resistance, especially on the first pass. So that really wouldn't surprise me in the more immediate terms, and that's really all I got for you guys. That's all I'm saying. I know I rambled a little bit here. I went off track in the beginning. If you stayed with the video, you got the meat and potatoes, you got the details, but I appreciate everybody for watching. If you'd like to leave a like or subscribe to see more, you don't have to subscribe, you don't have to like to see more. I'm going to keep posting it regardless, but it's encouraging. It's very appreciated, and yeah, we'll just kind of keep you guys up to date on this. And right now, I mean, if it's not obvious, man, this is an uptrend. It's a nice solid uptrend that you've been in since November or June of 2022, actually. So higher lows, higher highs. You're just doing more of the same. I don't think it stops here. I do think it goes higher. If it were to stop here, whatever. The rest of crypto's kind of taken a break too, so it's not uncommon. But the fact that it had this breakout, this fresh breakout with this immaculate volume, I would be surprised to see it turn around from here. It is possible, though. I would expect hitting this oversold zone literally not even 10 hours ago. I would expect continuation from here. I definitely would. Bullish on the 4-hour RSI. It looks great. You're above the 50, above the purple line. Looks great, man. It really does. 1-hour RSI. Yeah, you're looking a little flaccid here, sure, but you're not giving anything up. And your RSI is getting lower, but you're not giving anything up. This looks wonky. You could, just showing again, you could have a major pullback and then pump up 2 or 3 hours later. Like, that's totally possible. We could come down to $96 real quick and then pump up. It doesn't have to look pretty, but I do think that I would be surprised if this was the top. I do think that we go higher inevitably. And that's all I got for you guys. So again, if you like the video, leave a like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff. And I will see y'all on the next one. Thank you very much. Have a good day, good night, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Bye-bye.